From author Jatika Six Colors Gibbs comes your next must-read book, Until Now, available on Amazon. Until Now is a book about the first 25 years of the author's life. It includes childhood trauma, abuse, and the author being forced to hide their true self, being abandoned, and many, many other things. The author's hope is to reach readers that can relate and let them know that they are not alone in their trauma. They are not at fault for the terrible things that's happened to them. They are not victims, but are survivors, and together we can get through anything. Author Jatika Six Colors Gibbs has been writing poetry since childhood, and Until Now includes the author's life story, but also includes related poetry between chapters. Until Now, from author Jatika Six Colors Gibbs. Order your copy right now on Amazon.
You are listening to The Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida. Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at briancraigshow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
Hey guys, welcome to the program. I'm Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. Thanks so much, everyone, for tuning in. Man, a lot of craziness going on. Okay, so Biden had a press conference, and he was totally half asleep for the new variant. He called it Omicron, but there's no N in it. So it's Omicron?
I don't know.
I've heard, but there's no N in it. It's definitely not Omicron. But listen, however it's pronounced, if you're the president of the United States and you're making decisions that affect all of society, you need to know how to pronounce it, okay? But, you know, this was just like last week when the energy secretary didn't know how many barrels of oil the U.S. consumes a day. Now, I don't know how many barrels of oil we consume in a day, but I'm not the Secretary of Energy. You know, this variant here, I told you guys this last year when President Trump, the greatest president ever, was president, and they were doing these lockdowns that were really hardcore in Michigan and New York and California. I told you guys last year, I said, it will be decades, if ever, until we get back to normal, because what Democrats love more than anything is power. And I know you say to yourself, some of you, well, no, they love money. They get the money through the power. Right? It's like the gangster's paradise, all about the money, all about the power. You know, the power leads to the money. And
it's Omicron.
Omicron.
Wait,
that's what Biden said, Omicron.
I got
There's
the
no
Greek
N.
alphabet right here. Yeah, Omicron.
Omicron. He said Omni.
No.
He said Omnicron.
No. Omicron. I should know the Greek alphabet. I had to learn it in college. Omicron is the O in the Greek alphabet. After Omega, before Phi.
Okay.
Omicron.
So, you know, I told you guys then the Democrats were always going to revert to COVID for decades to come because they saw how much power they got without any effort. Some people griped about it, but they got their way and they enjoyed it. Like when Whitmer and Governor Cuomo were having their press conferences, you could see it in their faces. And it was very, you know, at the time, we thought President Trump would be around in the White House. He's coming back in 2024, but we're not there yet. But because we have a corrupt, senile old coot as the president of the United States, they are foreshadowing more restrictions.
I read another article about making Kamala, putting her on the Supreme Court. That I think that's their plan. That they know she cannot win again.
Yeah.
And they are going to move her into that position as soon as possible. And he's going to select a new vice president. I think it's going to be Buttigieg.
Mayor Pete? Yeah, that's a brilliant move. I hope so. We could be so lucky. You know, I got a question. I got a question about Kamala Harris that's a bit shallow and all that, but I'll ask. She came in with Biden to his press conference, which Biden said we should all wear masks inside, yet he left the room without one on. He was inside.
And he wasn't wearing one in Nantucket either over the weekend, apparently.
Well, that was before he made the proclamation. But behind him was Fauci and Kamala Harris. And I'm sure many of you have noticed this. I've noticed it, but I haven't thought about it too much until today. I have never seen her in anything but a pantsuit.
It's like Hillary.
And I'm wondering if she has like really unattractive fat legs.
I don't know why Melania, of course, Melania was the first lady, but she always wore dresses. I don't think I've ever seen, I've seen her in pants, I guess, but I don't know what it is
Nancy
with these.
Pelosi wears dresses.
Yeah, she
AOC
does.
wears dresses.
But a lot of women that are politicians wear the pantsuits. I don't get it. It's not an attractive look, in my opinion. I mean, I think women can wear pants. I'm not saying that, but I don't like the pants with the matching like jacket look kind of thing. I just don't think that's appealing.
Well,
it's not very stylish to me. She's not a snappy dresser, Kamala. I don't think she is. I don't think she's a snappy dresser at all. She looks like a prison warden.
She does this weird thing too. Okay, so I watched this live today because I wanted to see what they were talking about. And Biden goes up to the podium. Kamala follows him. Fauci follows her. And they had huge pieces of tape on the floor in the back for where Fauci was supposed to stand and Kamala. That one was on each side of him. This is not
so bizarre.
It's not a movie, okay, with camera angles.
It is to them.
You just go and stand behind him and you're fine. They had the tape there. And she stands like in this, she has this stance, Kamala, when she stands behind Biden where she thinks it's like a power stand. She's in her pantsuit where she puts her feet apart, stands firm. She stands like she thinks she's
like a prison warden.
She thinks she's like Wonder Woman or something.
I don't know.
It's very strange. But anyway, when is the last time someone has seen Kamala Harris's legs? I don't talk about some old picture when she was with Montel Williams.
Yeah, I saw her in a dress in that picture.
That was a long time ago. That was a long time ago.
She's not heavy. I don't think she's
her legs maybe.
I don't know.
She's hiding her legs.
Maybe she's got varicose veins. I don't know.
I don't know. But she is hiding her legs. But getting back to what's important. And
by the way, Nantucket, what happened is over the weekend, Biden, and Pete Ducey asked Jen Psaki about it today. He was in a store that had a sign, and the sign on the front of the store said masks are required. Mm-hmm. And he was inside the store without a mask, and everybody else was wearing a mask. Mm-hmm. So Peter Ducey asked Jen Psaki today, why wasn't he wearing a mask? And she gave some BS answer. Well, the president always complies. She says, yeah, but he wasn't complying here.
Or even today.
And he said, how can he lead by example when he doesn't even do it himself?
That's
and he expects people to wear a mask indoors when there's a sign on the store in New England. Masks are required, and he doesn't have one on. He said, how can, so he's a hypocrite like the rest of them.
Well, regardless of what any experts say, I don't know anything about this variant, okay? I'm not a doctor.
Neither do they.
I'm not a scientist, and I'm certainly not science like Dr. Fauci said he was. I mean, Dr. Fauci said he is science.
Well, you know as much as Dr. Fauci.
What an arrogant thing to say. I am science. Well, excuse me.
Right.
But so I don't have an expertise in these things, so I don't know about these variants. I know what you know, and I'm not rendering any opinion on the variant because I don't know.
Do you think when Trump wins again, is Fauci going to retire, or do you think he'll stay in there and let Trump fire him?
I would like Trump to fire him on day one in 2024. But so I'm not rendering an opinion on the variant because I don't know. But I do know this: if you're the president and you come out and you are telling people, don't worry, nothing to panic about. Then you have a special press conference with Fauci and Kamala. You have new recommendations and everything. If there is a new danger, right? If there's a new danger spreading with this new variant where they have shut down travel from, was it 5 African countries?
South Africa.
Yeah, 8 countries and 8 countries now in Africa. Yeah. And there's going to be other restrictions coming, right? There will be because it's spreading to other countries. They expect it to be in the United States soon. How can you shut down travel during what they tell us is a pandemic from Africa when you have a completely open border from at the southern border where people are coming through? The people that come through the southern border don't even have the basic vaccinations we get for chickenpox and measles as children in this country. So
it's just to make it look like he's doing
there's
something.
Either a health crisis or there isn't.
Right.
And I'll tell you what this is about because a lot of people are speculating on what this is about. And I'll tell you exactly what this is about, this new crackdown that Biden is coming through with. But before I do that, I want to talk just a moment about My Pillow because there are incredible specials that you will want to take advantage of right now because I'm not a hyper person. I mean, hyper is energy. I have a lot of energy sometimes. I mean, I don't hype things up. When I tell you something, you can take
You're
it
not a hype
to
man.
the bank. Yeah, I don't do clickbait. I don't do anything like that. But right now at mypillow.com, they have their Cyber Monday specials. These were Black Friday this morning. They've now changed to Cyber Monday. And I don't know how long the Cyber Monday specials are going to be there. They may only be there Monday. They may be there a few days.
Yeah, they got good deals today.
There are a lot of good deals there. And I don't have time to go through them all, but I'm going to go through what I think is the most incredible deal of all. And I would recommend you take care of this today. And it makes a great gift for yourself or anyone on your gift-giving list. Go to mypillow.com, click on the Cyber Monday deals, use our promo code Kane. There are incredible specials, the lowest price ever on many, many items. But this one, I think, is the biggest deal of all, Kathy, and it is the 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper. Now, Kathy and I have the 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper. There's also a 2-inch, but this is for the 3-inch. The 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper is the thickest mattress topper that Mike Lindell at MyPillow make. Okay, it is, and it's the one we have, and it is total perfection. It's sleeping on a cloud. You wake up, complete serenity. When you go to mypillow.com and click on the Cyber Monday specials with our promo code Kane, you can get the MyPillow mattress topper for 50% off. And I don't know how long this is going to be there. I left a message at Mike Lindell's office today, but it's their first day back from Thanksgiving. And they haven't gotten back to me yet. I was asking them how long this is going to be available. I do not know. This could disappear tonight. It could be there tomorrow, but it may not be there tomorrow. So don't mess around with this one. The MyPillow mattress topper, you hear us talk about it all the time. This is an opportunity that may not come back. 50% off the 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper with our promo code Kane.
It makes a really good gift, too. If you can send it to somebody else, and it comes out of the box ready to use. You just...
Absolutely.
Open up it's wrapped up in like plastic and you cut that open and boom, it just opens right up, strap it to the bed. It's ready to go.
And
it's awesome.
Yeah. And the package that it comes in the mail is perfect to wrap and put under the tree. And also, if it's somebody out of town you're buying for, you can always ship directly to them. But
That's
50% off the 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. Go to mypillow.com, click on the Cyber Monday specials. Kane is the promo code. Okay. So this press conference today of Biden and this new variant and what this is all about. I'm telling you what it's all about. Everyone is speculating on this, and no one has gotten it right yet. Okay. I was up watching Fox News at about 3 a.m. live. They were on, like that first thing they do, 3, 4 in the morning.
I didn't even know they had a show on then.
About at 4 a.m. a show came on live, and I was watching it. I was watching it at 3, but at 4 they came on, and and they said that the word in Washington is that this second bill, this huge $1 trillion second bill they want to pass, is not going to pass, and it is dead by Christmas.
Good.
This is a humongous defeat and embarrassment for Biden that he couldn't push this through, and they've given up on it. So the reason that they're coming out today with this new thing and the new recommendations and new concerns and restrictions and all is Biden is feeble. He's frail. He's checked out. He was asleep during the press conference. And he's weak as a president. He can't get things through. Even his other bill he got through, it was a little bit weakened. So what Biden is obsessed with, as is Jill Biden, is showing everybody that he's the big man on campus, that he's tough, and all of this stuff. So he's coming out with this for 2 reasons: to look strong as if he's in charge, and also to distract and turn people's attention away from the failure that is about to become obvious to everyone, that they couldn't get that bill passed.
Yeah, and they want you just to forget that.
Yeah, so if they've got a new crisis, it stops people, including the media, from looking at the failure that they couldn't get that other bill through. It's
all a shell game. It's all a shell game.
So that's the reason they're doing this. Now they're going to come in after the first of the year probably with more restrictions and things. I'm expecting restrictions on domestic air travel. Fauci has not ruled that out, and he has a lot of juice with Biden for some reason. So get used to more mandates and things that are done. If you're here in Florida like we are, you're very lucky because we have Ron DeSantis, but there are things the federal government can do that a governor can't get around. involving air travel and things like this. But if you're in a liberal state run by a liberal governor, God help you. It's going to be a rough time. You look at this new lady governor. You know, this lady governor in New York. The problem sometimes with women in government, you don't see this with conservative women. You see this with liberal women in government, especially like this lady who wasn't even meant to be governor. She just kind of happened into it. They have to prove that they're just as good as a man. So what do? They try to act like a man, and they really don't know how to act like a man. They just have some stereotype, on how to act like a man. So they go out like Whitmer and this new York governor and try to be all butch and all tough and use their authority so they can be like a man and be all powerful and hear me roar and all this stuff. And it gets really dangerous with Democrat women in power like the governor of New York because they're out there trying to prove something. Now, listen, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, there's a lot more to talk about. Do not go anywhere. Thanksgiving's over. We're back from Thanksgiving. My name's Brian, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. We'll be back right after this.
Christmas ornaments are always great gifts, but what makes them even better is personalization. The Etsy shop, Gracie and Azra, that's all one word, have an amazing variety of Christmas ornaments for everyone on your Christmas list. They have adorable high-quality ornaments for new babies, family ornaments, ornaments for nurses, travelers, dogs, and more. Each ornament is personalized with traditional handwriting that makes it so special. They're shipped directly to you fast, so start shopping right now, whether you want an ornament for your own tree or for someone special. They have a great selection that you will love. Visit their shop right now on Etsy.com. Gracie and Azra. That's all one word. GRACIEANDAZRA. Gracie and Azra on Etsy.com. From author Roger Schaefer comes the book COVID-26 Zombie, available on Amazon. This book was actually completed in late 2019, prior to a lot of the events that are occurring right now in today's world. This must-read book was intended to show how the 1% are in total control, and the 1% wanted everything, but at a cost that was never imagined. Yet, this book imagined it all. That dream of the perfect world, according to the 1%, a world which only the 1% matter. As for the remaining humans, they would have no rights or freedom, living in dystopia and under the complete control of the 1%. That didn't happen. Instead, mankind has created not one, but two new species that are Z and zombies. Z to a zombie is similar to a relationship of a dog to a human, since fear has been used to control humans since the beginning of time. Fear is the second most powerful tool to use against people. The only thing more powerful than fear is hope. Hope is the one and only thing more powerful than fear. COVID-26 Zombie from author Roger Schaefer is available on Amazon in Kindle, paperback, and audiobook. Order your copy right now. If you're looking for stunning art to hang in your home, office, or business, you need to visit the Etsy shop, Bosphorus Art Design. That's BOSPHORUS Art DSGN. There you will find 100% original watercolor, acrylic, and oil paintings that are ready to hang. You will find stunning landscapes, still lifes, cityscapes, seaside images, quaint European villages, and a whole lot more. And enjoy free shipping worldwide. All the artists are members of the Turkish Painters Association. Everything is high quality and makes great gifts too. Enjoy originals and prints. Visit their shop right now. Bosphorus Art Design. That's BOSPHORUS Art DSGN on Etsy.com.
You are listening to The Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida. Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at BrianCraigShow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. This is so strange. Listen to this. I tell you, this world that we're living in today.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
when you really stop and think about it, it's
this is crazy. Okay, this is from the Daily Mail. Race for the most woke company marches on. Best Buy and Levi's face customer boycott after offering employee counseling over Kyle Rittenhouse's not guilty verdict. Best Buy and Levi Strauss, and both of these places are lucky to be in business, especially Levi Strauss. Whoever brought in this yoga pants craze has pretty much put jeans out. I mean, when's the last time you've seen a woman in jeans?
Yeah, they do wear yoga pants more, I think, women.
Blue jeans are
I like jeans,
out.
but I think women, I don't wear yoga pants, but when I go to Publix and stuff, that's what I see a lot of women still wearing.
Yeah.
Now, maybe up north it's different. I'm in Florida, but I don't know.
Yoga pants have destroyed the blue jeans. The yoga pants have done to blue jeans what I never thought they would do, put them out of style. I thought blue jeans were in style forever. Best Buy and Levi Strauss are both facing a customer boycott after offering employees counseling over Kyle Rittenhouse's not guilty verdict.
Oh, my gosh.
Following the news that the teenager was acquitted, the two companies sent out memos telling their employees that counseling was available, with Levi's offering sessions with racial trauma specialists to encourage healing. Okay.
These young people have no backbone. They just have they can't handle anything in life.
Kyle Rittenhouse shot 3 people in self-defense. They were all white and he's white.
Right.
There were 2 instances of something black involved. One, the gun was black. Okay. The guy that tried to bash his head in with his foot, who was not shot by Kyle Rittenhouse, was black. But the 3 people he shot were white and he's white. What's with the racial healing?
Are they offering counseling to white people for what the guy did in Wisconsin in Waukesha? Because he ran over 6 white people.
Yeah.
The black guy. Are they offering counseling for?
Exactly.
The only people that need counseling are maybe Kyle Rittenhouse and maybe the families of the people that were killed that night. If they're having a hard time, that's it. Nobody else needs counseling.
Certainly not
for that. They have nothing to do with it.
Best Buy sent out a memo from the company's chief inclusion, diversity, and talent officer who encouraged, that's a job, who encouraged those affected to take advantage of our mental health services, including the Life Solutions counseling services. People have taken to social media to slam both companies in their woke response, with some threatening to boycott their stores and cancel orders. Best Buy is actually offering counseling to employees for the jury getting the verdict in the Rittenhouse trial correct. They just lost a longstanding customer in me, woke. I said wrote, I meant to say not woke, wrote one person on Twitter.
Are they going to offer counseling to their customers too?
And it goes on and on. You know,
would you be surprised if you walked into a Best Buy and they had a little table there with a therapist and they would talk to you right there while you were
customers?
shopping? Yeah, I mean, would you be real? I mean, I could see that happening someday, Brian, where you go into a store and they have a counselor at a table. It's amazing how life is hard for everybody, okay? And everybody has their problems. But it's amazing how these companies are and how these I would not want to own a company where I had people working for me these days, because you got employees that'll take a week off over the Kyle Rittenhouse decision because they need time to decompress.
And paid. It's probably paid.
Exactly. And they have to give it to them. They have to give it to them now.
During the holiday season, busiest time of year.
Oh, I can't come to work. I got to process this whole Kyle, even though I had nothing to do with it.
Listen,
it's insanity, Brian.
Not that I would agree with it, but if this involves like somebody white being found not guilty, like if those guys last week that killed Arbery, if they were found not guilty, right, I can understand some people being upset about it. There's no race here, but what the wokesters have decided is all white people are guilty and all white people should be convicted. And any white person who is acquitted by a jury of their peers, it's a racial injustice. It makes no sense. Now, Kyle Rittenhouse, he's an online student at Arizona State University.
Yeah, not the right university for him.
No, for sure. The only college he could go to is
Liberty or Hillsdale.
Hillsdale.
Maybe Liberty.
I don't know. Liberty might be a little woke over there. Look at who was running it all those years. You never know what's going on at that freak show.
And Trump University would work.
He'd be great at Trump University. Yeah, Hillsdale College, Trump University.
Yeah.
Anywhere else,
PragerU.
he's in trouble. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, schools that don't exist. But woke students at Arizona State University have demanded who they refer to as bloodthirsty Kyle Rittenhouse be booted from the college after he was acquitted of murder. And they've sent a list of demands to the university. And it says they have a killer on their campus, even though he's an online student.
I bet this is the same group that tried to kick those white guys out of their
minority
zone in the library.
Same people. One of their demands is they want their exclusive, multicultural, racially segregated spot back.
People have to stop giving in to this ridiculous nonsense. It's like Greta Thunberg is running the show here. They got to stop giving in to these infants that just can't handle a little adversity in life, and they can't handle when things don't go their way. Now, I mean, they've been so coddled. If something doesn't go their way, they need to go to therapy. They need to have things done at the school. They should, if they get rid of him, if they boot him out, he'll sue them because they have no grounds for dismissing him. He hasn't done anything on campus. He's not even on campus.
He's an online student.
He is acquitted of a crime. So according to the law, he's an innocent man.
Here's their list of demands.
Oh, here we go.
They have a list of demands. Okay,
can't wait.
They have a rally. And it's a rally and protest to get murderer Kyle Rittenhouse off our campus December 1st at 3:30 p.m. Here's the list of demands. 1, and these are to the people who run the school. Mm-hmm. 1, withdraw Kyle Rittenhouse from Arizona State University. 2, release a statement against white supremacy. There's no, I mean, you don't release a statement against white supremacy. It's just a given. Like, I don't have to release a statement that I condemn Jeffrey Epstein, right? It's just a given.
I would think so.
You understand what I mean?
I would hope.
Okay, so Second Amendment, release a statement against white supremacy and racist murderer Kyle Rittenhouse, who shot 3 white people.
How is he a racist again?
It makes no sense. I can't even make sense. The non-binary thing from yesterday's show makes more sense than this. Their third demand, reaffirm support for the Multicultural Center on campus as a safe space from white supremacy. Now, this is the one, this is that area of the school that's racially segregated where whites are not allowed to sit.
Yeah, black people wanting segregation to come back. It's amazing.
That is against federal law.
I would think so.
You cannot have a racially segregated area in a public place.
But Brian, would you be
surprised? A state university is public. They take federal funds.
Would you be surprised if someday they change those laws back and they change the laws where universities were allowed to do that? Because now you see people on the left, these radical nutcase kids and some adults that want to bring back segregation. They want...
Well, they've already done it, Kathy.
Yeah, they want their own personal space free of white people.
That's crazy.
This is exactly what happened after the Civil War in the South, mainly what they were dealing with. And this is how the Klan operated. And this is what happened in the South in the 50s and the 60s is you would go, if you were an African-American, you'd go to a restaurant. We all know, and they had... they called it colored bathrooms or sitting on the back of the bus. It seems like some people want that to happen now in reverse. Like it's like a payback.
Here's their fourth demand. This is their fourth demand. Redirect funding from Arizona State University Police Department to support the Multicultural Center. And
sure. Yeah, they want the money. That's what it's all about.
An establishment of a Care Center on campus, CAARE. I don't know what that stands for.
Sure, something stupid.
Even with a not guilty verdict from a flawed justice system, they put justice in parentheses, Kyle Rittenhouse is still guilty to his victims and the families of those victims. Join us to demand from Arizona State University that these demands be meant to protect students from a violent, bloodthirsty murderer. I wouldn't be so sure that the people he shot, that their families feel the way they think they feel. Out of the 3 people that were shot, I bet you at least one set of the families are like,
relieved.
We lost our son. He got all radical. He was out there doing violence, and I wish he wouldn't have gotten mixed up in that violent Antifa.
Yeah, like they I wouldn't say understand or relieved, but I would say that they
were put through hell by this.
Yeah,
place.
And maybe they don't blame Kyle as much as other people. They might say,
they're more likely to blame themselves
as parents. My son shouldn't have been there, and he shouldn't have. But this is the problem with the left. When you give them an inch, okay, like they gave them the stupid cultural group that now want they're trying to do a shakedown for more money. They give them this little group on campus, and now this group is like trying to run the show, and they're bullying them. They're bullying the university. Here's the deal with your kids. If you're a conservative, don't send them to Arizona State University. That's for sure. Don't send them to any of these liberal woke schools. Do your research. And, I went to FSU. Of course, this was in the 90s, and it was in the South. I was in the deep South in Tallahassee. None of this stuff went on. It was a bunch of rednecks that lived up there. That's Tallahassee. It's like right near Georgia. So none of this happened there. And I don't remember anything like this going on in any of my classes, anything political. Of course, I was an art history major, but even in other classes, there was never political, there was never social justice stuff or any of this stuff. This is all going on now at all levels. They want to do it at kindergarten. They're brainwashing kids. And this is the result. These kids grow up, they're 19, 20 years old, and they're babies, and they have demands. They got a lot of nerve, and they're demanding money. They're demanding that a certain student who's been acquitted gets thrown out of the school. Now, we'll see what Arizona State does with this, but if they give in, they're negotiating with thugs here, and if they give in, they're going to make more demands.
This is crazy.
It is nuts.
Now, I went to school as an adult. Okay, so I wasn't a child when I went to school. I went to school while I was on the radio.
But you didn't experience any of this kind of stuff.
No, because I wasn't living on campus. When you were going to college at Florida State University, there was a serial killer murdering students at the University of Florida, Danny Rawlings.
I remember that.
So in Florida schools, as opposed to worrying about when they wanted a safe space, they wanted a safe space from the Gainesville serial killer that was killing college students.
That's right.
So they had real things to worry about. Now, listen, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, it's getting worse. This is what's going on with this government will blow your mind. Don't go anywhere. I'm Brian, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. We'll take a quick break and be right back. Do not go anywhere.
What would happen if you were lost in the wilderness without supplies to help you survive? Or a natural disaster suddenly cuts you off from modern conveniences and help services? The book from author J.P. Logan, Practical Survival Skills, Nature's Larder, Wild Foods Survival Guide, available on Amazon, is a portable guide with essential information on how to discover the abundance that nature has to offer. Nature already has everything you need to survive. You just need the information and skills to live off the land safely. In this must-read book, you will learn how to identify the foods that you can and cannot eat out of the wild. Learn how to light a fire without a match. Learn how to find food, how to purify water, and a lot more. This guide comes with a comprehensive survival foods index with plants, berries, roots, herbs, and protein sources that you can find anywhere around the world. You will also uncover a variety of food sources that will guarantee your survival if no help is on the way. When you prepare today, you invest in a safer tomorrow. Order your copy right now on Amazon. Practical Survival Skills, Nature's Larder, Wild Foods Survival Guide from author J.P. Logan. Planners are more popular than ever. If you love planners and enjoy scheduling your daily life, there's an Etsy shop that carry all kinds of planner stickers and pages that you will love. It's called DigiPlanners Design on Etsy. It's all one word on Etsy.com. They offer digital budget sheets, money challenge sheets, holiday stickers, grade tracker pages, password keeper pages, and much, much more. These are all digital and very easy to download from your computer, print, and incorporate into your planner, and get your holiday gifts, Christmas gifts, and more at DigiPlanners Design on Etsy or digiplannersdesigns.com. Have you wanted to get involved in investing but didn't know how or even where to begin? Then visit ExoticExpansion.com. ExoticExpansion.com offer financial education and tools to help users just like you grow financially. And don't worry if you're busy at work. They will send you stock signals through text and Discord, so you just follow their calls on when to buy and sell. It's that easy. They offer monthly and yearly membership levels to fit your budget. Membership includes one-on-one coaching, full-time advice, and stock calls. There's a members area where you can view their weekly picks, have access to their top 20 verified stock picks that always are updating, as well as a net worth tracker, and there's a lot more too. ExoticExpansion.com's goal is to provide you with the education that will enable you to achieve your financial goals. ExoticExpansion.com also have an app that's available in the Android store. ExoticExpansion.com. Crypto, stocks, Discord, tech signals, long and short-term trading, value investing, options, and financial education. It's all at ExoticExpansion.com. Everyone loves sweatshirts. They're comfy, soft, and cozy. If you're looking for adorable sweats with cute graphics and fun messages, you need to check out Operation Kindness Art on Etsy. That's all one word with a capital O and capital A. They have sweatshirts for dog lovers, bridal parties, and brides, as well as religious-themed sweats, Christmas, and more. The designs are sweet with pastel colors, and the sweatshirts are made of soft fabrics with a classic fit. These sweats are great for yourself or as a gift. They're handmade and unique, and they're perfect to keep you warm in the colder times of year. Promoting kindness through slogan sweats for all sizes. Operation Kindness Art on Etsy.com. That's all one word with a capital O and capital A. Operation Kindness Art on Etsy.
You are listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast. Broadcasting from sunny South Florida, Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at BrianCraigShow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Brian, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy the Monday after Thanksgiving. Welcome back, everyone. We had unrelated to the politics. We have a new dishwasher. We got a new dishwasher. And the dishwasher we've had is very old. We actually put the dishwasher in when we first moved into the house. And the last dishwasher I put in, I put the dishwasher in. But this time we hired an appliance company to come and install the dishwasher. And what a big mistake it was. Okay, this guy, he came here to install the dishwasher. And I told Kathy, I said, if I do this, it's going to take me a few hours. I don't do stuff like that very often. I mean, how often do you install an appliance? And a dishwasher is a little more complex because we had to put in new hoses and things like this that we don't normally. With the last,
you have to hook up the water line and hook up.
You always have to. Yeah, the dishwasher is a little more involved,
a little complicated
than an oven or you just plug in,
or a microwave.
But I did put in, I did put in our last dishwasher, but it took me a few hours. Because the dishwashers, you got to connect the power and all the power cord and all this stuff. It's so ridiculous. So we got a really good deal with a local appliance company to install the dishwasher. And I knew we were in trouble when this guy got here. It took the guy over 2 hours to do it. I could have done it in about the same time.
Yeah.
And then he left. It looked great. It's running. He turns out, oh, great. And he leaves. And then Kathy says, wait a minute. The microwave's not working. And then I go in there. I'm like,
right.
What? So we go in there.
And it was plugged in. I checked.
None of the outlets are working in our kitchen now. No. None of the outlets are working. I don't know what this guy did.
It's awful.
But none of our outlets are working in our kitchen now. Luckily, the refrigerator. That outlet's working. But all the outlets that you plug appliances in, none of them are working now.
I know.
And I'm not big when it comes to electric. Okay, I did the resets. I checked the breaker box.
Brian doesn't like to do anything with electricity.
I was almost electrocuted once as a child, and
your stepfather was electrocuted plugging in a lamp once. That was scary.
When I was 12, I did something really stupid. I had the weed thing, the weed trimmer, and it ran on electricity. You plugged it into a electrical outlet, and I was outside, and it was in the morning. I was doing this barefoot when there's a little dew on the ground.
Oh my gosh!
And there were some exposed wires on the big orange extension cord. I didn't know about it, and when I grabbed it, the electricity went through my arm. The only thing I could move were my eyes.
Oh my Lord!
And my arm was shaking, and I was looking, and I couldn't move my body.
What did it feel like?
It hurt like a son of a gun. And my arm was shaking so hard it ripped it out of the socket. And I still have two.
Gosh.
I have two. They faded a lot, and if you didn't know where to look, you wouldn't see them. But I have two scars on one of my fingers.
That's amazing.
On my middle, not my middle finger, but
you've had a
this
few
finger,
near misses in life,
where the burns were from the wires. So I really don't do much with electricity.
Right.
So anyway, it's what a mess. I should have installed it myself.
Well, I'm waiting for them to call me back. I called the girl and I said, the guy just left 10 minutes ago. And I said, 2 outlets in my kitchen are not working now. And she said, oh no. And I
Yeah,
said,
that's exactly
and then
right.
she said, did you
Yes.
reset the breaker? And I
Yes.
said, yep, did all that. Still not working.
None of the outlets.
So
all of a sudden.
they're supposed to call me back. I haven't heard. That was 2 hours ago.
Well, I learned a lesson. When there is something you can do yourself, do it. But, when you get older, you get busy and you got stuff going on.
Yeah.
And I really didn't have time to spend all day Monday installing the new dishwasher. So to me, I thought it was a good idea. Very bad idea. All right. So Mayor Pete, he said a couple things over the weekend. He did some interviews. He says, families who buy electric vehicle. I'm not going to play audio sound bites of this because I can't stand listening to Mayor Pete.
I can't either.
I was going to watch over the weekend. I was going to watch the documentary on him on Amazon.
Oh my gosh.
And I put it on. And I am not exaggerating. 30 seconds, I turned it off.
Yeah, I can't stomach him.
I thought, well, you know what? I should watch this so I can talk about it, but I can't do it.
I don't like people that smile when they talk.
The smile talkers.
It is absolutely the most condescending way to communicate. It is pure.
Oh yeah,
it's just condescending.
It's the worst.
As hell.
It's the worst. So I'm not going to play the audio sound bites of him saying the couple things because I just can't stand listening to his voice. But first thing he said is, families who buy electric vehicles never have to worry about gas prices again.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but their home electric bill is going to be through the roof.
Exactly.
And this thing about electric cars, I thought getting a Tesla, not that they're really in but there's a cheap Tesla. I thought, well, maybe a Tesla, electric car, like a Prius might be a good thing for us. And our brother-in-law has a Tesla.
Yeah, my sister's husband has a Tesla.
But
he drives 2 hours one way to work.
Yeah, he drives 2 hours each way to work.
Yeah.
And
an hour and a half.
And he's got a great deal at work where he can charge it at work at no charge.
Right. Yeah.
So that that's amazing.
So that's a good idea for him.
He's got a good deal. He
travels 3 hours a day.
But
he lives in Coral Gables and works in in Palm Beach.
But I was talking to him about the Tesla. And he didn't mean to do it, but he talked me out of any type of electric car. It's ridiculous. A few weeks back, I went with our daughter to Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios in Orlando, Florida, and we met Kathy's sister and her family there. And, of course, her husband was with her. Kathy didn't go, but I was there. And I was talking to him about the Tesla because they didn't bring the Tesla.
Right.
And I was kind of curious.
They brought their big gas-guzzling SUV.
They have a Buick. They brought their Buick.
Yeah.
They didn't bring the Tesla. And I was a little curious about the Tesla. And they told me that they drove to Orlando in the Tesla in the past, and they couldn't make it to Orlando in the Tesla. It didn't have enough energy.
They had to stop to charge it.
They had to stop to charge it, and they had to stop for – do you remember how long? It was quite some time.
It was 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah, 45 minutes to an hour. Now, this is a 3-hour drive, and on a normal 3-hour drive, I'll do it straight through.
For them, it's a 4-hour drive. They live in Miami, so it's a 4-hour drive to Orlando.
So they had to add another hour onto it to charge it up. So every I don't know, 2 hours of driving or so, because you're on the road, you've got the car loaded up because you've got the whole family in there and luggage, so there's weight. You've got the air conditioning on, and you're driving at a high rate of speed. So every 2 hours, you got to stop and charge it for an hour.
For an hour, yep.
That makes no sense.
And what's going to happen?
That's insanity.
I'm assuming they don't talk about
that's crazy.
Semis. I'm sure semis will always run on diesel because electric.
They have hybrid semis and things. And
how long does that take to charge? I mean, those things are hauling thousands and thousands.
If I got to stop the Tesla every 2 hours and charge it for an hour,
it's ridiculous.
How do you get where you're going?
It takes a lot longer because when you stop to get gas, it takes like 15 minutes, right? 15 minutes unless you run.
If you get gas, get
snacks.
bathroom, get something to eat.
Yeah, 15 minutes if you just stop, get gas. But yeah, if you have to stop every 250 miles for an hour with your kids, you're not going to.
Oh, that's great.
You're not going to be driving cross country,
and you're not saving because while you're waiting with the kids, you got to pay to charge it. What do you got to do with the kids? You got money. You got to spend money on them at the rest stop.
Well, I think a lot of these, they're purposely driving up the prices of gas. And I think if we had a Democrat in the White House for the next 20 years straight, God help us, I think they would continue on this path because they want to force people into this green new BS, as Trump likes to call it, green new BS.
And, the thing you've got to figure, okay, so I don't have to go to the gas station if I have a fully electric vehicle. I'm charging it up at my home. That means my electric bill is higher.
Sure.
And, That is in Florida. Now, some of you guys in other parts of America or other parts of the world where it's not as hot as it is in Florida, we have our air conditioning on in Florida
90% of the time.
Maybe 2 days a year, maybe just 1 day a year, we don't have our air conditioning on, because even on a cold day in the early afternoon, the hottest time of the day, we'll put it on for a while
because it's really sunny.
Yeah. And
it heats things up.
So when you're in a state like Florida that's hot and humid, where air conditioning is life, the electric bill is your most. It can be more than your car payment. It can be the most expensive bill in a family,
depending on the size of your house.
Depending on the size of the house. And things like this. So then you have to charge your car. And what if you have to charge 2 cars?
I'd like somebody in the audience, because we don't have an electric car.
And I'm not getting one anytime soon.
I would like somebody in the audience who has an electric car, not a hybrid, but like a Tesla or a fully electric car. Let us know how much more your electric bill is a month.
You'll never get the answer.
I'd really like to know how much more is it a month. Now, with my sister's husband, you can't tell because, like you said, he bought that car when he got this job because he commutes an hour and a half one way. And like you said, he gets to charge it at work.
His employer charges,
and I'm sure he gets some kind of benefit other than that because they encouraged him to buy it. But if you just own a Tesla or an electric car, if you have the guts, tell us how much more you're charging it every day now to go to work the next day. How much more is your electric bill? I'd really like to know.
Electric car owners are liars, okay? Electric car owners, they're like gamblers who only talk about their wins and they don't talk about their losses, right? Electric car owners never give you the honest truth about that.
Well, if it works out to the same cost as gas.
It doesn't. If it did, everybody would just do it automatic. Plus, the cars are more money.
The problem is stopping, like you said, on the road and having it. If they only took 10 minutes to fully charge, it wouldn't be so bad. But they take an hour to fully charge. And if you're on the road and you're tired and you just want to get from point A to point B.
That makes no sense.
And you have to stop 2 or 3 times and add another 3 hours to your normally 3-hour trip, you're basically doubling your time.
That's right. It makes no sense at all. And if you're a family with 2 cars and they're both electric, if they regulate it like Buttigieg, and people like Buttigieg, these people in government, they have no practical experience. Everything with them is academic. It's like a report, and it makes a lot of things look good on paper, but it's not very practical. And how many times, I cannot tell you, think about this. How many times have you gotten up in the morning and grabbed your phone, your iPhone or whatever, and forgot to charge it and it's dead? Yeah. Or I can't tell you how many times I've gone I get up in the morning and I grab my iPad and I get to the radio station and it didn't charge and I'm at 3% and I got a whole show to get through and I've got 3% charge. It's not going to last.
Meanwhile,
could you imagine if you forgot to charge your car? How are you going to go to work?
Meanwhile, do any of these politicians ride around in electric cars? Does Biden ride around in electric car? We know Pete Buttigieg takes an SUV and around the corner and pulls his bike out of the back to look like he's Mr. Bicyclist, Mr. Green.
Yeah.
But do any of these politicians with their chauffeurs and their limousines and their SUVs, are they any of them electric?
No,
I don't think so.
Okay, so then he talked about the bridges comment. Listen, this is on Fox. And again, I'm not playing the audio because I'm not listening to this guy's voice. Transportation Secretary and possibly our next Vice President, Pete Buttigieg, on Sunday responded to criticism over his recent comments about racist bridges and highways, saying this. This is what he said. The point is not to make America feel guilty, but to fix what he believes are injustices in the country's infrastructure. The racist bridges where they're too low for black people to get
He's just
to the
pandering.
beach. Okay,
He's just pandering.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. These bridges that are too low, these are not bridges just for black people to drive under. They're for everybody on the road to drive under.
It's so ridiculous.
So and
when they were built, Brian, those neighborhoods were predominantly Caucasian.
Those bridges, yes.
So it's ridiculous.
Greg Kelly on Newsmax TV has been born and raised in New York City. His father was police commissioner, remember? Yeah. And he talked about this. And he gave some very interesting information because he knows New York City, born and raised there.
Yeah.
The black population in New York City at the time that those bridges and tunnels were made was less than 5%.
Yeah,
it was almost
really,
it was
really
almost
low.
100% white in the city of New York at that time.
Back then.
So that's a myth. Somebody wrote a book, and Greg Kelly got into. I don't remember the name of the book. They wrote a book about this, and that's become like reality. But there were hardly any black people in there. And
but they can use that black people don't like Buttigieg. So he can use that to try to pander to them and try to win them over. He thinks he's speaking their language.
Now you hit on
what
it.
I mean? Like he's the great white hope.
Now you hit on what Mayor Pete is really doing.
Yeah.
Black people hate Pete Buttigieg. And he doesn't like black people. And
that's for sure.
When he was running for president and he was still mayor of South Bend, there was a police-involved shooting. A cop shot a man who was a lifetime criminal. And it became a racial injustice issue. And he went to meet with the family behind closed doors. And the family said he didn't even talk to the mother. He was very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you guys have seen the videos of Mayor Pete. Black people get very pissed at him at these events in person in South Bend.
I think he's the kind of guy that's not comfortable around minorities.
Yeah, because he's a white liberal and they're racist. Yeah. So what he did is he got together.
Guess who's coming to dinner?
Yeah, what's happened with him? He got together with his political strategist for his campaign, even though he's supposed to be running the Department of Transportation during a supply chain crisis. And they came up with this idea about the racist bridges and tunnels, and he's going to change that so that black people will like him and vote for him in the future. Right. He's trying to get black people to like him.
That's what it's all about.
It's so absurd.
Yeah, he doesn't believe it. He doesn't know the history. He doesn't care. All he thinks he's going to run for president in 2024 and win the nomination, and that's all he cares about is his political future. And like all Democrats, he's going to use the black community to step on to get up the ladder.
He does not even think black people have cars because he said the buses can't go under these bridges.
I know.
He doesn't think black people can afford their own cars.
You really have to, I know. You really have to listen to how liberals talk.
What a jerk.
And if you really, really listen
He's so racist.
to what they say, you will see how racist they are. Exactly. He just assumes that black people take the bus.
They
They can't. Well, they can't. Brian, they don't know how to get a driver's license either.
Remember what Biden said? You know, that they're not even lawyers and doctors, right?
I know. I mean, and he was shocked that Obama showered.
Yeah, exactly.
So this whole thing,
this whole thing with Mayor Pete.
These people.
People throw the term racist and call people racist all the time, and they don't really know. A racist doesn't think they're a racist. A racist doesn't go around hating on minorities. Most racist textbook example of a textbook example of a white racist is Mayor Pete. Black people don't own their own cars. They can only get around on public transportation.
And they need his help, white guy.
They need the great white hope.
That's right.
So they can get to the beach. And these
But Brian, that's how slave owners treated black people. Well, that's how he thinks. And that's how they treat them like pets.
I'm surprised he didn't adopt interracially just so he could reach out even more, but I guess that's too close. But,
he would never do that.
These tunnels they're talking about, the reason that some modern vehicles don't fit under them is because they're 100 years old and vehicles were smaller.
Buses were smaller.
Buses, trucks, everything was
was
smaller. It was like the cars they have in Japan and
the population was probably a lot less when those were built. You have a lot more commerce, the trucks are bigger.
All the cars and everything were smaller. So,
they didn't have SUVs and things like that. Everything's just bigger.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just so strange. All right, listen, we're going to take our last break. When we come back, there is more to talk about. Don't go anywhere. I'm Brian, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. We will be back right after this.
Imagine if you could combine your love of crypto with just about any vanity or lifestyle theme. Well, now you can at StellarShop.org. Stellar Shop brings themes to life in cryptocurrency and is the originator of vanity and lifestyle money in the new and exciting world of cryptocurrency. Align your money with causes you care about, like dolphins and sea turtles or anything in between. From Woodstock to medbeds, they have over 100 to choose from, so you can buy, sell, trade, or swap crypto on the Stellar XLM network. Stellar Shop also has over 20 charity themes that benefit from your usage. Grab your favorite Stellar wallet and join the revolution and the future of money through blockchain quantum finance. Stellar Shop also sets up custom-made business crypto and payment systems for any business. Get in on the crypto craze, and maybe you can be the one telling that next crazy crypto story. Visit StellarShop.org today for vanity and lifestyle crypto assets. That's StellarShop.org. From author Janie Emus comes the book Lock Is for Santa Claus, available on Amazon and BarnesandNoble.com. Anna is excited that Santa will be visiting her house for the first time, and she wants to leave Santa a treat that blends the holidays her new family celebrates, Christmas and Hanukkah. She shares this idea with her stepbrother Michael, who insists that Santa doesn't need anything but his sugar cookies. Anna imagines Santa has to be bored with cookies, and now is determined to find a Jewish recipe that he'll enjoy. The catch, it has to be something easy for Santa to grab and go. It can't be matzo ball soup. Soup in a sleigh with galloping reindeer will never do. It can't be noodle kugel. Imagine that by the handful. What a mess. Anna retreats to her thinking corner to figure out the perfect finger food for Santa, not wanting to disappoint him on this very first visit to her house. Order your copy right now on Amazon and BarnesandNoble.com. Lock Is for Santa Claus from author Janie Emus. From author and veteran Lex R. Brown comes the book Grit, Grind, Grow, a guide to conquering career transition, available on Amazon. Making a transition in life can be overwhelming, but Grit, Grind, Grow is designed to help you approach your career like an entrepreneur so that you are always adaptable and empowered to land bigger and better career offers quickly, frequently, and consistently. Each year, 250,000 members of the armed forces leave the military to reintegrate into the civilian workforce. Grit, Grind, Grow is written by a military veteran who has proven the information in this book firsthand and has empowered numerous others to replicate those successes. This is a must-read for transitioning military veterans, military spouses, those currently unemployed, recent college grads, professionals of color, seasoned professionals over the age of 50, and anyone else searching for solutions and seeking better results. Order your copy right now. Grit, Grind, Grow, a guide to conquering career transition from author and veteran Lex R. Brown on Amazon.
You are listening to The Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida. Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at BrianCraigShow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. And I want to take a moment to thank all of our Patreon supporters for their support of the program. Thank you so much, everyone. It means a lot. It helps us out a lot, and it's greatly appreciated. And if you would like to become a Patreon supporter, there's a link in the description of this and every episode. You click that link, it takes you to our Patreon page, and it explains on how to become a Patreon supporter and what the benefits of that are, including getting commercial-free editions of each and every podcast episode. And our top Patreon supporters get a live, on-air thank you shout-out on every episode. So all the names you're about to hear are our top Patreon supporters. I want to thank Andrew and Connie, Christine, Gary, ETW, Chuck, Rich, Rick, Nick, Pamela, Dee, and Jacklyn. These are our top Patreon supporters. Thank you so much. Now, you've heard me talk last week about one of our listeners, someone who's a part of our community and family, someone that Kathy and I are very good friends with, has had COVID and is hospitalized. And Kathy and I have been talking to them throughout the week, and I talked to them this morning, and they told me I could say their name now. Yeah. And it is Sarah. And you guys all know Sarah. Yeah. And Sarah went with us on our last Steve Kane cruise. Kathy and I went to Walt Disney World with Sarah.
Yeah. She came down here. We went to dinner.
We went out to dinner with Sarah here in South Florida. We went to the mall with Sarah. So we're pretty good friends with Sarah. Yep. And Sarah has COVID. She is still in the hospital, but she has really made a turn for the better.
Thank goodness.
Big time. And
so we're happy about that.
Absolutely. And last week, the reason we didn't say her name is she was in the hospital. When you're in the hospital, you're in the hospital. And, she and we did not want people like getting in touch with her family and everything when they were going through this. So that's why we left the name out.
Really touch and go for a few days.
Yeah, we were pretty worried. I mean, she, when I talked to her this morning, she's been on oxygen, but she's improved a lot. And she never went on a ventilator. She never went to intensive care.
Close.
But it was pretty. Last week was pretty scary.
There were a couple days that were really bad.
Yeah, and
but we prayed a lot. Everybody was praying and just praying that she would, because it eventually gets better. It leaves your body like any virus. You know, it has a certain time period. And the doctor had told her from the time you get it, days 9 through 14 are the worst. So when she was really bad was like on day 10. So he's like, she's got to get through the next 4 days. So she's much, much better. Like
well, yeah, and we were asking all of you out there in the listening audience, even though we didn't say it was Sarah, if you could say a prayer. And prayers are working because let me tell you, the difference in her in the last couple of days has been miraculous. And I got to the radio station this morning. It was about 10 to 6 in the morning. And Sarah sent me a text message, and she's in Colorado. So that's like 10 to 4 in the morning. That's like 3:50 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
And she says, "Oh, I'm on YouTube. I'm waiting for you to come on the air." And I said, "Well, you must be feeling a lot better if you're watching me on YouTube." And I talked to her a little bit. She's doing well. So everyone who said your prayers for Sarah last week, don't stop. Keep doing it. She's still in the hospital.
But she's definitely thinking to recover.
Yeah, well, when someone gets COVID and they're hospitalized, it gets scary. I had 2 people I know have died recently. One was a good friend of mine, and Steve Gaines.
Serious problem.
And having just lost somebody and you guys know who I'm talking about. Some of you that are regular listeners,
and if you think
get worried.
You have it,
get tested.
Think you have it, get tested.
Please.
And if you have it, call your doctor because it's really important to get treated very quickly to avoid all these problems. You want to get treated and get the treatment. They gave her all the treatments available, but you want to get all the treatments as soon as possible to avoid ending up in the hospital if you can. So I want to say one thing. Michael Cohen, who we used to really like when he was saying he would never betray Trump. Well, he's a big...
That's what he does for a living now, is betray Trump.
That's all he does for it. That's right.
Job.
That's his job, is to betray Trump. He says... that Trump is running the greatest grift in U.S. history, that he is not going to run in 2024. He's only saying that to fill his fundraising coffers.
Yeah, right.
That's what he's saying. Why would he want to do that?
Donald Trump, who has $10 billion, has to run a grift.
That makes no sense.
Exactly. Here's for a few bucks.
I mean, that's like pennies to what he has. That's ridiculous.
Here's the thing with Michael Cohen.
He knows nothing. He's out of the loop.
Here's the thing with Michael Cohen, okay? They threw the book at him.
That's right.
And he made a deal, so he's free now. And
that's right. He folded like a you-know-what.
When Michael Cohen got arrested, okay, I told you guys this. I said when he gets out of jail, he's going to spend the rest of his life attacking Trump on CNN or MSNBC. And now he's doing it on CNN. And I believe... what he did was this. He made a plea deal with them. And part of the plea agreement was he has to spend the rest of his life on CNN trashing Trump.
That's right. Well, CNN...
that's what it is.
CNN's contributors are ex-cons and perverts. So what do you expect? I mean, CNN has zero class.
Yeah.
And they have Acosta, too. I mean, they have no class at that network.
None.
They brought back Toobin. And they've had Stormy Daniels, Avenatti, who's in jail. I mean, they have all scumbags, thieves, and perverts.
They got Michael Cohen, who's scumbag. Jeffrey Toobin, who's their legal analyst with the masturbation thing.
That's right.
Masturbating on Zoom.
Avenatti, porn stars.
Well, they've got Don Lemon has some accusations against him.
Exactly. I mean, they're just classy people.
Chris Cuomo's brother's a sex freak. And remember, Chris Cuomo was threatening to throw a man down the stairs?
That's right.
Remember that?
He goes around threatening people around New York City.
He
yelled at the guy in the Hamptons.
Yeah, they have really low moral standards over at CNN.
They do.
Now, it really pains me to talk about anything that involves racial issues, but it seems every other story, maybe even more than every other story, is about that. And this one takes it to a whole new level. Listen to this. Listen to this. This is out of Slate magazine. Yeah, this is crazy. Okay. In an impassioned note to How to Do It, that's like a column you write to in Slate, Slate's sex advice column, the woman who calls herself Keeping Count revealed that she and her long-term boyfriend decided to open up their relationship 3 years ago in order to boost their sex life. The woman, whose racial identity is unknown, but I think I can guess what it is, we'll get to that in a minute, at the time of this reporting, complained that her boyfriend has a thing for white women.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And
I don't think she's white.
No. No. She wrote this. A little over 3 years ago, my longtime boyfriend and I decided to open our relationship. We're honest and upfront with the other partners each of us bring home. And our own sex has been
weird.
better than ever because of it. They're swingers, even though they're not married.
Right.
I trust that my boyfriend does not have any other women he slept with without telling me about them. In 3 years, however, there have been 5 women.
Of course.
Which isn't even the problem. According to the woman, the problem is that her boyfriend appears to be intentional about selecting white women. She says this. The problem is that in this time frame, he's been with 5 women, all of them white. We do not live in some white-only community, and the odds of him selecting 5 women at random and getting 5 white girls is tiny. I talked to him about this, and he started getting very defensive and saying he liked the girls he liked. I don't know how to deal with this. There definitely seems to be at least subliminal racism in his choices. What should I do? The column's authors, Jessica Stoya and Rich Juzwiak, whatever, responded, pointing that a difficult conversation should be held to preserve the integrity of this open relationship. I think you should have another conversation about this, possibly multiple conversations.
I don't think integrity
the authors
and
responded.
open relationships go hand in. I don't think that is possible to have integrity in an open relationship.
They advised the woman to broach the topic with her boyfriend of sexual racism. The authors continued, your boyfriend's defensiveness is not necessarily related to your approach, but it could be. People tend to get defensive when they feel accused or shamed. If you have accused or shamed him, try a different tact. Maybe push things into a broader, more philosophical direction. What does your boyfriend think of the notion of sexual racism anyway? Does he see it as a problem?
This is another new term we have to deal with.
I think it's important to keep in mind that while your suspicion is justified, given your area's demographic makeup. Okay, I'm not going to read anymore. Okay.
Yeah.
First off, this
is a messed up couple.
This whole column is made up. Okay.
You think so?
Slate is liberal. You have these liberal woke writers, these snowflake liberal writers, and they're trying.
So it's coming out of their imagination.
Yeah, they're imagining this. And one of the things that Martin Luther King was advocating for and fighting for was to decriminalize interracial relationships.
That's right.
At the time of Martin Luther King, it was illegal for black and white people to have sex with one another in parts of this country.
In fact, our neighbors, our one neighbor, she's like 80 years old now.
Older.
Maybe 85. And she's black. Her husband was white. He passed away about 10 years ago. Very nice couple. But they got married like in the 50s.
In the South, in Florida.
And I think she'd said that it was illegal for them to be married.
It was.
You know, but now, like I said earlier, now it seems minorities want to bring back those laws. They want to bring back segregation and this kind of stuff.
This article is a very, very disturbing article. I don't believe anybody wrote this article. I mean, the absurdity that
you think it's made up.
The absurdity that a woman lets her man have sex with other women, that doesn't bother her. But the fact that he only sleeps with other women who are white does.
I don't know, Brian. There's a lot of messed up people in the world
what they're
right
trying
now.
to do, you know what they're trying to do? They're trying to, a lot of liberals read Slate, okay? What they're trying to do is cause racial problems among interracial couples. And they're trying to stop people that are interracial. They're trying to get people back to dating their own skin color.
Kind.
Yes.
Which is the way they used to talk about in the 50s.
It makes sense because Democrats were the ones that made it illegal for interracial relationships to happen back then, and now they're trying to make it socially unacceptable today. It's always been
amazing.
All these problems, all these racial issues, it's always been Democrats.
You know what? You know why this is happening? Because they've won all their battles. They have nothing else to fight. So now they're creating new battles, and they're going in reverse. It's so stupid.
It is, isn't it?
Well, I think she's got bigger problems if this is a real person. I don't understand open relationships. I don't think you can be in a committed relationship and screw around with other people. I know there's a lot of celebrities that have open marriages. I'm not going to, one high profile couple that I'm not going to mention. I think it's very common in Hollywood. It's probably more common than you think, open marriages. And people convince themselves that it helps their relationship, it makes their sex life better and all this stuff. But eventually it creates problems, and it might be exciting at first, but then eventually somebody will sleep with somebody that the other person gets very jealous of or very resentful of. and it drives a big wedge and it destroys the relationship, rightfully so, because it's just it's not meant to be that way.
Typically, when it comes to people that are swingers, people have this thing in their mind of the swinging 70s and 60s. Typically, people that are swingers, one of the people in the relationship is gay. And it's a way for them to have sex with, and it's usually the woman.
The woman, yeah. To have sex with other women.
Exactly. In the relationship.
And a lot of guys don't mind that at all. They like that.
You know, I'll bring this up on the radio tomorrow with him. He'll talk about this. Steve Kane knows a little bit about that world and things like this.
Yeah, he'll talk about it.
And he's told me that it's incredibly destructive. And
it is.
That he has known in the past many couples that were involved in the swinging lifestyle, and every one of the marriages fell apart.
It's a destructive thing. It's not the way it's meant to be, and you cannot love somebody and then pass them around to other people.
It makes no sense.
And how can a man? Okay, seriously, how can a man who loves his wife be okay with her screwing other people, or vice versa? But especially a man. Do these guys let their wives go screw other men? I don't get it. That's not love. That's the opposite of love. Well, that's disgusting.
This letter about the what did they call it? Sexual racism.
Another new term we have to learn now. This a new one every week.
This is a made up term.
It's ridiculous.
It's a made up story. It never happened. And if this couple were real, this racial thing is the least of their problems.
Absolutely. And I agree with you. I think it's
totally made up
fiction.
Yeah.
I think it's just somebody wanted something to write about, and they had a deadline, and they had to get an article in, and they made this.
They made it up. Yeah. Well, listen, we're all out of time. We'll be back next time. I'm Brian, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. Thanks for listening, everyone, and we will talk to you next time.